Hey, it's Karri Flatla here for this week's Friday Fire at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge and KarriFlatla.com. So, how do you be happy during COVID or when bad stuff's happening everywhere? I'm not really one to talk about happiness as a thing, but I think we all want to be a little happier and more content in our lives. And we feel a little bit jerked around when things aren't going the way we want out there in the big bad world. So I don't actually ever read a book twice. I don't watch movies twice. I tend to get bored easily. However, this book I've read twice. I'm almost done reading it the second time. I pulled it out after a few years. It was published in 2016, and I think I read it somewhere around that time. It's by a guy named Neil Pasricha, and the subtitle is Want Nothing plus Do Anything equals Have Everything. Is it possible that there's a formula for happiness, or at least to be more content? And look, it's December and we're heading into 2021 and everybody just wants 2020 to be over. But the fact is we don't know when things are going to be back to normal. It could be a long time. Even if they get a vaccine into people's hands in Canada right away, it's going to be months and months and months of disruption to what we used to know as normal. So why not find a way to feel better within yourself and not have your happiness so dependent on what's going on out there? You know, wouldn't that be a big deal if we could all do that? And I'm a big believer that you do have the control, and happiness is a decision. So I wanted to share a few takeaways from this book, and it's just such a well-written book. It's so worth your time. It's an easy read. His writing style is fun and light, and you can even read it before bed and you won't get all stressed out. So here are the three takeaways for me. The first one is, I just said it, but happiness is a decision. So 10% of how you feel is circumstances around you that are out of your control. So bad things happen and you can't stop it. But 90% is everything else. So 90% of how you feel is really kind of up to you. So happiness is a decision, but here's the thing. Our society is very conditioned from the time we're very little to believe that happiness is somewhere out there, it's somewhere out in the future, you will only be happy if. It's always a conditional statement. If this happens, then happy. If I get the new car, happy. If I graduate from university with honors, happy. If I get the job I want, happy. If I sell my house for what I want, happy. Do you see the pattern there? You got to flip that around. You decide to be happy first, and then that flows into all the other things you're doing in your life. The happiness comes first, not after you get these other things. It's not a conditional. You make the decision. Because you can't control COVID, and you can't control what's happening out there, and you can't control politics and who's the president and interest rates and COVID, right? So isn't it a relief to know that you can actually decide if you're happy? The second lesson is that action creates desire. And I've always been so passionate about this one because this is how I've built my business and found success in different areas of life, and it took me decades to learn it. Action creates the desire. Action creates the motivation. Action is what's going to get you further faster, not waiting for inspiration, motivation, my T's to be crossed, the I's dotted, the right person to be president, interest rates to be lower, the market's better in real estate, etc., etc., etc. You have to take action first. So Neil talks about how Nike hit it on the head and why it changed their business when they came up with the slogan, just do it. Because you have to do the thing first in order to feel like you can and build confidence, and then you suddenly want to do it more. So think of it like a child learning to ride a bike. Does the child take classes and read books and study on how to ride a bike? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous. They get onto the bike and they start pedaling and they're going to wipe out, and they're going to feel silly, and they might scrape their knee, but that's the only way you can learn to ride a bike. The best keynote I've ever given in my life to 400 people, I had 1 hour to prepare. I didn't even know till that day I was giving the keynote, the speech. And I had an hour to figure it out. And then I had to deliver. So you just do it. And it was great. The third thing is stop multitasking, because the brain can't multitask. And you reduce your quality of life so much. And you reduce the quality of results. You reduce your quality of relationships, everything, by trying to multitask. And I think it goes without saying, you can't get anything done when you got this thing going off in your face all the time. So if you're in a meeting, if you're having dinner with your kids or your spouse or a friend, if you're talking to somebody face to face or on a phone conversation, if you're trying to get something important done, put this away, stop multitasking, and Neil says cut off access. So stop checking your email, turn your phone off if you need to get some work done. Tell people that they can't talk to you for the next 2 hours, whatever it is. But you got to batten down the hatches and create space and time for yourself to do the things that matter to you. Multitasking is actually not physiologically possible for your brain to do. We think we can multitask. And one of my favorite quotes from this book was Neil's friend, and he said, screwing up 2 things at the same time isn't multitasking. You got to be all in with whatever it is you're doing, whether it's cleaning your house or talking to your spouse or having a sales meeting or whatever it is that's important to you. You got to be all in and put everything else away. So those are my big takeaways from this book, and it was a great reminder that happiness is actually in your hands, and it has nothing to do with COVID or fighting about politics on Facebook or anything else going on out there. It's all here. So you get to make a decision. Pick up the book. It's so worth it. It's a fun read and might shift your perspective a little bit as we head into 2021, which can be our best year ever. So that's this week's Friday Fire. I hope you got some good takeaways, and I will see you next time. Enjoy the weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.